Hey C Road, I thought I'd change it up a little bit from my normal Tuesday post of sharing a worship song with you, and instead share with you a passage of scripture that's been standing out to me this week given the season we're in. It's found in Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 8, and it says real simply, your pattern of worship will change. Your pattern of worship will change. Now you need to have a little bit of context because this can mean a million different things without it. This is actually God speaking to Moses in the middle of a transition for the Israelites. See, the Israelites had spent 40 years in the wilderness, wandering and building a life for themselves out in the desert. It was unforgiving terrain and land, and it was one of the most difficult places they could possibly live. And amazingly, they had figured out how to worship in this desert wilderness. They built this portable temple with wooden posts and string and cloth and sheepskin, and they set it up at the middle of their nation and in the middle of all their people, and they'd worship and then they'd pack it up and go to the next place and set it up and worship and pack it up and go to the next place, so on and so forth. And so they're about to enter the land of Canaan and about to enter the promised land that God has promised to them. And so Moses is standing on top of this mountain overlooking the entire land that they're about to go into. And God says, your pattern of worship will change when you enter the land I'm about to give you. Now, you've got to keep in mind that this land was filled with obstacles. They were going from the wilderness to facing giants. I mean, the people that they would be taking the land from were literally the ancestors of Goliath. They'd be facing giants, overwhelming circumstances, uncertain outcomes. And God says, your pattern of worship will change when you enter the land I'm about to give you. And so they go into the land, and after fighting for the promises of God, they establish themselves as a nation. And at the center of the nation, in Jerusalem, they build a brand new temple. The thing is, this temple, it's not made with sticks and stones and cloth. It's made with bronze and stone and gold. And it brings people from everywhere to come and worship at this new building. Their pattern of worship was going to change, but they could have never imagined how great it was actually going to be. And I hope for us today, in a season of uncertainty and unfamiliarity, that serves as hope for you and wherever you're at in this COVID-19 crisis. We're seeing that our pattern of worship is already changing. And yet when God says he's going to change it, he's going to transform it in a way we couldn't have even imagined. Maybe God will trade our faith that maybe was more like the old temple with just wooden posts and string and cloth, for something far greater, faith that is rooted on a firm foundation made of gold and bronze. I'm reminded of Jeremiah 29:11 today, which says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of hope today to know that the best is yet to come, that if we allow God to, he can build something in us during this time that is far greater than anything we could ever imagine. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening.